Hello, Spencer. I hope you have a great thanks. I was gonna say Thanksgiving break. I hope you have a great, happy, no, happy birthday. I hope you have a great Christmas break. I apologize. I messed up twice. I was on top, guys. I have no excuses. All right. So for this video, I will be answering some questions within the assignment, but also give my own aspects and views for the class. So I'll begin with the first question. What assumptions about the classroom has this class forced you to reconsider? I would say that the type of aspect it forced me to reconsider will be on the topics. Like for this class, I was able to be more creative and just like focus on what I want to talk about. Of course, for the um, one where we need to go to Eddy Street, if they involve Eddy Street, but we did like if you look at our papers, it's not the same because we all have a different perspective how we approach our papers. But my whole point about the topic is that compared to other courses, they mainly make us focus on one subject, one topic, and just go along through it. But for your class, we were able to get creative. We'd be able to challenge our own topics. I remember how for the food insecurity one, I began with one idea. You helped me move into a better idea for my final paper, and it was just like it was a great experience. I was able to learn a lot from that because now I'm able to learn. Okay, I'll be like, okay, what can I find that will have a lot of information out there within journals, newspapers from within the state. And another aspect, I would say that the way we figure out how to find evidence, like the way I found evidence in the past will be just, of course, search up. Okay, what is food insecurity? Search it up. Look at the top three articles that Google gives you, and just pretty much use it as a way to write the paper. But for your class, I just rather than doing that, you taught us. You went out of your way to teach us, be like, hey, we have the expert library, and we could use that to our advantage. And that's exactly what I did. I used it to be able to source my evidence and even use it for my other papers such as African studies and my cosmology class. Alongside that, and away from evidence and topic ideas, you also helped me find a different way to approach papers. Like my favorite way that I approach a paper will of course be the writing and rhetoric paper. I took a risk and it was just pretty much like my own journey. You could going through Eddy Street and just seeing the buildings. We have buildings with designs, marketing, based just to bring up consumers to them. And it's like for food, for clothing, and more other buildings, but for organizations. And I just compared it to the Robinson Center, was pretty much focused on helping the community and how they're very separate. One is trying to give resources, which will be the Robinson Center, and the other ones are trying to obtain income to continue their businesses because they require your money to function. Now, of course, the food from the street are good, so we have to give props on that. I've been eating Chick-fil-A for a while, so great. And I also don't want to get off topic. Let's go back and just I want to talk about how when I went to that paper, I say it's a risk, but because when I began with it, my peers were like, "No, that doesn't work," because I had a different. My approach was different. I know what I wanted to do, but I wasn't doing it. And for my peers, I'm like, okay, maybe the writing center will help me. And the writing center was the one that was like, okay, so let's take this approach, which led me to my final paper, and I really feel proud of it. Now, another question I will answer is, how do you think about the social justice and the radical community of after taking this class? Well, I would take that more about how I see the community now within after taking the class, and I could see the big difference within Street that happened to it. Like we learned that it used to be a forest. Kids would have fun in the trees, be running around, but now they're like buildings, organizations, um, and just a big change. You know, a lot of people who come back, they just can't really recognize their community again, and it's unfortunate. And well, it just happens, unfortunately, and it happened there because it has been occurring even other places. In Santa Ana, there's a big acre of land. It was great, beautiful, green grass, but now the grass are gone. They put fence, and I'm not sure exactly what they're building, but they just eliminated that area, and not sure, but it's going to be about just probably for income, like be able to accumulate income from that area. Not sure exactly what they're going to build again, but that's another example how we see that community is changing and its environment is changing. Now, I'm gonna take this question is about like, how do I see myself as a Notre Dame student interacting with the city of South Bend? I within the class, you have shown that it's possible to interact with the city of South Bend, and I feel like I would like to interact with the city of South Bend more. At the moment, of course, I'm trying to learn how to be a student before I was able to volunteer, but I know it's possible. In my foundation leadership class, we learned about this student who went to Notre Dame. He was in probation having only a B. Like he had to have a B average to be able to stay at university. But that never stopped him from working hard, but also volunteering. Because he always had this great passion about like if you give back, like if you give to others, like you also like you get you get a feeling from it, like a fulfillment. And it's just that like yeah, you could do great in many things, but sometimes fulfillment comes when it comes to helping others. Now, am I proud of my work? I would say yes. I am proud of my work because I work hard. Of course, I have mentioned this many times before, but also the fact that I always put my best and 100%. And even though it's not always the best quality work, I know that in that moment and the time I had, I used it wisely. I didn't rush it, and I turned in with everything I had. And even showing that I was committed to this class, I began attending class early because I remember one time that I was a bit late and I didn't want. I was like I missed the information in the beginning of the class, so I came. I could say I'm really early sometimes, and I could always cut it down how early because sometimes I'll be like 2 hours before class starts. But like within those 2 hours, you catch me sleeping sometimes. But sometimes I don't sleep. I actually do work as well. So when we have work, of course, I'll work if I want before I hit the deadline as well, before class start. Just because I want to make sure I have everything looking correct. Um, Things don't sound wordy that much because I tend to have like a writing style where I assume that the person who's reading it is thinking the same thing I'm thinking in each word leading up to the sentence. Now, when it comes to the Ross Gay, I will step away from the question, but just focus on the what passage I really liked, and it will be passage number 93. And the reason I like this one is because it connects with me. This person talking, Ross Gay is talking about his friend and how he uses like air quotes. And like he uses them like in different styles. Like he really mentioned like he has a hand his hip, looks like he's gonna do like a hula hoop, but he begins like his quote saying, "Oh, someone might say," and always quoting, and that's something like I do. Like if I get the chance to be able or have the opportunity, I will quote something to be able to encourage, motivate my peers, students. Oh, I don't have students, my apology, my friends, and yeah. But alongside that, I feel like Ross Gay also gave us a delight where it was like he just showed how a delight looks like. And if we look at our own community, we could see that there's delight in our community. Looking into Eddy Street, there's delight there. You walk around, see people. It's a beautiful environment. I like the road. It looks neat. Once in a while, you see little chairs on the sidewalk, so you could have a break, have a conversation. That's really beautiful. I don't have that much in Santa Ana, so I was like, oh, that's great. Um, Alongside that, even like in the Robinson Center, when I went to the picnic, seeing the community come together and just in one place, it was a delight as well. And other three things I'll say that I really enjoyed your class. I was able to actually learn a lot and be able to improve my writing style, and I'm really glad about that because I've been taking it to the next level to my other papers. So thank you very much. Thank you for allowing us to explore our creativity, but also for continue the main objective that we want to talk about things that are important. And food security is something that is important to me, and I will make sure to take your advice and like find books about food security. I never really read one before, and I'm really psych. No, it's like that's a bad word to say it. I I'm not sure if I was using that one correctly, but I was trying to say like I'm really like excited to like be able to order a book from Amazon or figure out one in Kindle because I have Kindle on my phone, so I'm able to get it digitally as well. I have no barriers. I also want to say that thank you for having great jokes in the beginning in the classes within the lectures, having a little comic strip, a quote, and a poem, and like it was always surprising. We didn't know what was gonna come next, what will be next, but usually they were the comic strips, and they were very funny. I do not have something funny to say because I don't really read comic strips, but this is pretty funny, and let's just pretend we both have. But yeah, I really want to say thank you for um, being there for our freshman year. You were the first class we experienced when it came to writing for many of us, and you really gave us like good motivation to be able to move on to our next class. We'll also be writing and just write awesome papers. Bye, Spencer.